The Tennessee Titans get another dub, even if it's just preseason, in Mike Vrabel fashion. We are going to break it all down for you right here. Welcome back to another Titan Bros video. I'm here with my little brother and partner in crime, Josiah.
Howdy. How's it going, guys?
Welcome in, everybody. Hope it's going to be a great show. Might not be that long or that in-depth because we're going to be breaking down a preseason game where no starters from either side even suited up. So these are backups or street rats who won't have a job in just a couple of weeks is all we got to watch play. The most important thing I guess you could take out of all of it would be the backup quarterback battle, because quarterbacks, and Will Levis, do like to get hurt these days. And you get to see coaches, to see Denard Wilson how he calls a defense, and Brian Callahan how he calls an offense. So those are about the really only important things, perhaps, because there's very few position battles. In fact, by him sitting the starters, kind of told you who the winners of these position battles already were, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So let's jump right on into it.
Okay, let's do it. So the first thing that I want to point out in positives, we'll start off with some nice positivity to get the thing going. Jalen Harrell is coming along awfully nice. He was pretty solid in that first preseason game. He's obviously the 7th round pick. He was the leader of the Michigan defense last year, as well as the sack leader on the Michigan defense. But he came in here, 2 sacks. He had a sack last week, didn't he?
I don't remember that.
I think he had a sack last week, and he's added 2 more this week. He's looking good. Brian Callahan had some pretty high praise for him as well. But yeah, you love to see it because Arden Key not going to be suspended. That's nice. But we still need to keep him fresh. So if he only plays about 70% of snaps, that's probably a good thing. And we need somebody else to step up there because I'm kind of done on Rashad Weaver. Like I think this is the last year on his contract. Like I feel like we've seen all there really is to see. I'm just like, he is what he is.
Yeah, I agree. I've kind of thought this for a while now that we need, and this is even with On Key in the lineup, we need depth. Harold Landry, On Key's our guys, but who's going to be behind them that when they come in, it's not like there will be no pressure. And we need some depth there. If we could get that with our 7th round pick, that'd be awesome. Like you said, he's done really well in preseason. I've heard the coaches talk really good about him. So if you could get anything, if you could get solid backup play from a 7th round pick, that's a win for me.
I completely agree. Actually, I'm really confused why he dropped the way he did, and the fact that again he was the Wolverines won the whole thing. He was the leader and sack leader on their defense. So maybe he was lacking in like high upside on like an athletic profile type deal. That's the only thing I can think of. But I mean, so far, so goody.
So goody.
Yeah, so far he's so goody. I'll take it.
Yeah. I like that. That was a bright side. Because like you said, it was hard to – you're not watching the starters out there. You're watching nothing but backups. So it was kind of, a little more boring, I guess you could say. But, when you have something like that, a little glimmer of hope of a 7th round pick might be something. That was something that I paid attention to. And I was going to say something about it, but you jumped the gun down. But you're right. That was a bright side in the offense, defense, my bad. I will say this, and I think you agree. Another observation of mine, which is the opposite of not so good, though. Trey Avery, if he gets cut today, I would not mind it.
Yeah, the thing is, this is his 3rd year, and he was not good the first year. He was not good the second year. So far, he has not been good the 3rd year. The fact that he keeps getting chances, I'm just like, I am done with the Chris Avery.
I would much rather now. Today, yesterday, he was much quieter, but I would rather Brownlee get his chance over Trey Avery, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do think he is ahead of him on the depth chart. I think the reason we're seeing so much Trey Avery is because no Snead or Awuzie. So
So that's just my opinion on that. gosh, what's his name? Chase Campbell was a little quieter today.
He's a little quieter. I saw him around the ball a little bit. Did he drop a pick or something? Or am I making this up?
You may have made that up, unless I missed the play.
Yeah, I don't know. I may have just made that up. But yeah, he like I seen him around the ball a little bit, but obviously he had an impossible act to follow.
I like his effort. He has a good motor, so I give him that. But he wasn't quieter today. I was going to try to pay attention to that. But if nothing else, maybe he might be a good, solid backup. So I still like him. If he can stay healthy, I'd like him to make this team.
Yeah, I completely agree. I guess the big storyline that everybody's going to be thinking about is the backup quarterback situation. And I think I already have my answer. I think it was already an uphill battle for Malik Willis to try to dethrone Mason Rudolph. But Mason Rudolph just looks like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. And that sucks for me because I've been since day one a Malik Willis fan. I've really been wanting him to work out because he has so much stuff that you like. Man, this guy could be exciting, and I love his arm, his strength in the arm. I love his mobility, but he just can't put it together. And sometimes. If you make sometimes completing a pass look so difficult, then you're like, this is too hard for you. Completing a pass shouldn't look this difficult. And I feel like there's more upside to Malik Willis. Like maybe we can unlock something with him and make him better than Mason Rudolph. Because to me, Mason Rudolph is a good backup, but there's only so much you can get from him. Like to me, he's not going to be a great starter. So I was really hoping Malik Willis can wow us and take that spot, but he didn't do it. And you're right. Mason Rudolph had the touchdown and he had the game-winning drive. So it's just it's Mason Rudolph. I don't know if Malik Willis can actually do anything in preseason game 3 to change the coach's mind. And why are you smiling?
Somebody jumped to the comments section, and I have to agree with them.
For people that doesn't know, that is his wife.
Yeah, that's the mistress there. So
anyway,
thank you for your support. Oh,
what?
Thank you. I appreciate it. When you get into your 30s, you kind of need to pick me up every now and again. So I'll take it. I'll take every bit of it. All right. So anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, that being said, you just talked about quarterbacks. So we can move on to something else. I think Mason Rudolph's got it. I agree with you. I liked Malik Willis. I thought he was a low risk, high reward type of guy, but he just never panned out. If he makes a 53 roster, I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset about it at all. But at the same time, number 3 is where he belongs. If we still had some slouches as our backup quarterback, then I would hope Malik Willis can rise to the challenge. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, I will say one thing else, another position group altogether. I'm done with running backs. It needs to be Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears and no one else, because I'm not going to tell you their yards or carries, but I'll tell you their average. Chestnut, 3.5. Small.
That's with one big run.
1.9. I agree. He had one big run. Everything else was not good. Jabari Small, 1.9. Hassan Haskins, 2.6. These guys aren't NFL running backs. They're just not.
They're not good. We've had them for too long, at least with Haskins and Chestnut for me, for my liking. I agree. I don't really want any of them. And I think there's one thing the Titans need to try to improve on a little bit on offense. We need a good power back, because I think that Haskins or Chestnut is going to be that, but I don't like either of the two. So I just wish we had a better power back. Obviously Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard will be getting the bulk of the carries, but in a 4th and 1 situation, I want a better power back. I don't think we have one on this roster, so we that might be a weakness of ours if we don't address it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I guess you just gotta hope we don't. I guess we gotta hope one of our running backs don't go down, because even if just one of them go down, then we're gonna be hurting for some.
To me, it's more than just one going down. They both will be healthy. I don't think they're both good 4th and 1 running backs, and so even if they're both healthy, I think we should get ourselves a better power back. But again, I don't think we have one. So here's an observation I was thinking on offense, and it's weird because I was hoping to see an improvement from year 1 to year 2. but he's hurt right now, and I can't remember the guy's name. But should Josh Riley be the number 2 tight end, or should we replace him with that one guy? Who was his name? He had that big catch on that last drive. I can't remember his name.
They call him DMR.
Yeah, him. Like, should he be number 2? Because I've heard people saying that he's pretty good at blocking. He looks good in the receiving game.
Well, actually, if you keep track of the offseason reports, Josh Wiley's killing it, and he's actually probably going to be the number 1 tight end by the end of the season.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're saying he's as good as Chig as a receiver, but he's almost 6'7". Some places do say he's 6'7", and he's a better blocker than Chig. So, and with Tyler Boyd being in the slot, there's a lot of things saying it's probably going to end up being Josh Wiley flipped over Chig.
Wow, that is strange. I don't know about that, just because Chig is a 500. How many yards did he have last year?
I think he might have broke 500.
500-yard tight end, and so far Josh Riley hasn't done that. So that would be a interesting move. I don't know if I'll agree with that, but I guess we'll see.
Also co-starters on the depth chart.
Gotcha.
They had Chig / Josh.
With Mike Vrabel, we would probably still have a lot of double tight ends, so they both would play. But I'm hoping to see less double tight end plays with Callahan.
Yeah, I think there will be. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Offensive line, we're in trouble if any of our starters go down. I am not,
I don't like Duncan, and I don't like that one guy. I can't remember his name, but he will play. He was the starting training camp, and he is not right now. But he doesn't look good at all.
John Ojoku.
Yeah, he looks bad. And he was the guy who started off as a starting tackle in the training camp.
Yeah,
him and Charles, and they was doing horrible.
Never thought I'd be so happy to see Nicholas Petit-Frere and Dylan Radins, because they've been basically failed 2nd and 3rd round picks.
Yep. So. But I agree, though. We have no depth with offensive line. And the problem is, your O-line is going to get banged up. They do every single year. So we have no depth. So that's something that's going to be a little scary.
Andrew Rupchich was kind of starting to put himself as in a possibility of being our starting right guard, but he had a step back. He wasn't so swell because he actually played pretty good in the first game. Not so good in the second one, so you hate to see that. One more observation I'll have when it comes to offense is actually, I guess, two more, and they kind of are one and the same. Mason Kinsey, big step back. He dropped 2 passes that hit him. I don't even know if they hit him in the hands. He just wouldn't put his hands in the right spot and was trying to body catch them.
I would say, I don't know if you heard this or not, but he did break his finger, and I'm not sure when he did that exactly in the game. Did that have something to do with it? I don't know. I just saw him saying that he broke his finger, but they still expect him to show up for training camp, and he won't have surgery, nothing like that. But I don't know when he did it.
Yeah, I did hear that, and that might be why he was trying to body catch everything. But at the same time, if your thumb's broken and you're trying to body catch, then, all right, let's get her out of the chat. Never mind. See if we can figure out how to ban her and get her out of here, because I can't be doing all that on this channel. Cowboys, they're going to be good again. They're going to go about 11-6. They're going to go to the playoffs and lose their first game. Gone. All right. So moving on. The one and the same, Mason Kinsey, stock down. But you should never root against one of your own players, but somebody I've been kind of not wanting to succeed, but he just is Jaquan Jackson. Jaquan Jackson is just, he's fast. He's so fast. He had a really strong performance. I think he had 4 receptions, 56 yards. It was a heck of a performance from him. Not just that, but he was still doing pretty solid on the returns. The reason I don't want him to be any good was because I'm a big Kyle Phillips guy. I think Kyle Phillips is good if he actually gets to play. Mike Vrabel didn't like him because he couldn't catch kickoffs or punts, and he couldn't block. So Mike Vrabel made him literally a healthy scratch at the back end of last season. I still think Kyle Phillips is good. So that's the only reason I'm quote unquote, rooting against Jaquan Jackson. But he played good. And he actually ran like a 4.3, I think, 4.3 something. So he's super fast and quick, because those are very different things. So if he's going to be that, that's fine. That's fine. Technically, if he's making plays and going to be decent for us as a 6th round pick, Can't complain about it.
He played well. Someone I wish we played, is Traylon Burks. I think he needs reps. I think he needs to prove something out there. I think him not playing was dumb, in my opinion. Because honestly, I think NWI has less to prove than Traylon Burks. NWI is a solid player, in my opinion. He's a solid 4th and 5th guy. I've always liked him. I'm glad we signed him back. He had a good game. I like him a lot. I think Traylon Burks should have been out there more than he should have been, and he wasn't. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I saw that someone else posted that, and I agreed with that. I feel like Traylon Burks had more to prove than NWI did.
I completely agree with you. I think, actually, let's be honest, Nick Westbrook-Akina is a way more proven wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly.
Burks. So the fact that, Traylon Burks, he can take the day off, I'm like,
why?
I think
Does that show to you that they already know that he's making the team?
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a doubt on whether he's making the team or not.
I feel like there should be, but that's just my opinion.
Well, at the same time, who are you going to replace him as? What other outside wide receiver would you replace him with? Because NWI is going to make the team as well. Our problem is, I don't know if this was unintentional, or if they did it on purpose, and I just don't understand why. We have way too many slot wide receivers. Way too many. We literally have Tyler Boyd, Kyle Phillips, Mason Kinsey, Jaquan Jackson. We have four slot receivers.
Yeah.
And on the outs, and then D-Hop can play in the slot. Calvin Ridley can play in the slot. And at least in his college career, that is where Traylon Burks played. So I don't know why we get all these slot guys. We just don't have many X and Z receivers, but I don't know.
One thing I said, and you disagreed with me through text on the game, but I'm just going to throw it out there. And I know it's just preseason, so that's the one thing I'm saying. But I have not liked Callahan's play calling. I think he runs too much on first and second downs. First down is ridiculous. It's just, it's going to be run up the middle. It's so every offensive coordinator we've had the last 20 years. And then we run the ball too much second downs. There's too many times, I'm trying to see what Mason Rudolph and Willis has, but it's already 3rd and 7 because the running game hasn't done anything. And then we usually do a false start or something on offense, so then it'll be in 3rd and 12 and just setting ourselves up for failure. Especially in the middle part of the game, our offense was dead, and because we would just run the ball, then throw it. And usually our O-line would do a penalty somewhere, though.
It was another bounce. We had 31 throws and 29 runs. So slightly more throws and runs, and Malik had 4 runs. One of them, Malik, was a designed run, which I actually like that one, where he snaps out of the shotgun and just immediately runs. That was a good play. I like that. And that's smart designing plays for the personnel as opposed to us having a plan, and whatever quarterback we throw in there, they have to learn how to run our plan, which was not working for
a lot of folks. We may have thrown a couple more times to run, but don't forget, that last drive was probably 6-7 straight pass plays because, we had to. Well, I guess there was some running at the end to milk the clock out, so I guess that balanced out. But anyway, and another thing, I don't think he's been good so far. And Grant, you could say it's just preseason, and I'm hoping you're right. I don't like his goal line play calls, and I don't like his 4th or 3rd and short play calls. His situational play calls are really bad. And usually his situational calls are just run up the middle or do a toss. One or the other, but it's going to be a run. Usually,
I will say there's way too many 4th or 3rd and 1s where we toss it. That's not usually the best idea. I do think he runs too much on first down, but then there's a lot of times where Malik was just dropping back with an empty backfield. I'm like, I like to see this. I like to see some pass plays, all these options running around out there. So obviously, he even said in a press conference, Callahan did that he's very meat and potato right now. Very meat and potato. He's not really too worried about, trying to game plan against people. He's just kind of getting used to the flow of things, trying to create certain situations for folk to see how they respond, just things like that. So I'm not worried about it at the moment. If we're 2 or 3 games into the season and we're still running almost every single first down and we're doing toss sweeps on 3rd and 1 and things like that, then I'll be like, But for now, I ain't overly worried about it.
Hope you're right. We shall see, because as I was watching him coach and not doing so well yesterday, it kind of made me realize, wait, our players could be really doing well, but if our coaching is coaching bad, poorly, then we're going to be even worse than I thought we would be. Because when I was thinking what our record's going to be at the end of the year, I was thinking player-wise. I wasn't really thinking coaching-wise. But I feel like if he keeps coaching the way he is, granted, it's just preseason, that could that could really hold us even more. But hopefully it's just meat and potatoes, and hopefully he'll do better in the regular season. But we said that with Todd Downs, we said that with Tim Kelly, and then never got better. So maybe that's why I'm so strict on this, but this is my opinion.
Yeah, the Power Hour says, how did you feel about Coach Callie's play calling the final 2-minute drill? I liked it. I think we did a good job of just moving down the field. Mason Rudolph looked really good in the huddle there. Moved it down. He did get mad. Did you see the one play where he got mad and he slid and the guy hit him anyway, even though he was sliding, and he threw the ball up and hit the guy? They could have penalized him for that. Glad they didn't. It was like him and Myles Garrett all over again. But yeah, so I like the play calling. Now, you said something, Josiah, last night that I agreed with. I feel like we should have tried to maybe pick up one more first down.
I think so too.
But in the end, we got down there, had that final run to get them over on the right hash, just where you'd want to be. Kicked it in. Looked good. I mean, it worked out good. I mean, but if he would have just missed that, if we would have went down the field and then missed it, I'm like, Callahan, what are you doing? Why couldn't we try to get another first down and make it easier?
It was like 46 or 47-yard field goal, and I think we didn't have to make it like that. We could have made one more first down and made it a little bit easier, in my opinion, because it was still like a minute left. I'm like, let's make one more first down, and that 10 yards would make a huge difference. And then kick the field goal. We didn't do it, and like it was a win. But there's a lot of stuff, and I'm like, ugh, I don't really like our backups too much, really. Let's just hope we have a unbelievably healthy season.
Now, I will say, I feel weird saying this out loud. Our backup wide receivers are a little more juiced than they've been, in my opinion. At least with the way Kyle Phillips didn't play, but, Kyle Phillips I still think is a starting slot caliber wide receiver. Jaquan Jackson had a big night. That was nice to see. And the first game, Mason Kinsey was good. Second game, you can say he had his broken finger or whatever it was, but regardless. The Power Hour says, who's more likely to get cut, Trey Avery or Kyle Phillips? I would love it to be Trey Avery because we talked about this earlier in the show. I don't think Trey Avery's good. I don't know how he's made the roster 2 years in a row, and now he's getting all kinds of playing time because he's a boundary corner, and both of our starting boundary corners are out. So he's gotten all kinds of playing time, but it's just basically further showing that he's not really an NFL corner, in my opinion. But that being said, sadly, I think Kyle Phillips has a bigger chance of getting cut because he cannot catch punts. He can't catch punts for some reason. Even in pre-games, he can't catch them. And because of that, he can't block. He's not going to be on the special team defense in any way. He's just a slot-only wide receiver. And because of that, I'm really afraid they're going to cut him. I don't want him to get cut, but that's what I'm afraid of. What do you think?
Yeah, I would be the dumb thing to do is get rid of Kyle Phillips, so it probably would be what Titans would do. But yeah, in my opinion, I would rather cut Trey Avery because I think Kyle Phillips is a decent player. I don't think Trey Avery is a bad player, so to me it makes sense to get rid of Avery. But I do believe you're correct that we would be more likely to cut Phillips.
I agree. Plus, let's I said I agree with you agreeing with me. But plus, let's give Gabe Jeudy-Lally a shot. Give Gabe Jeudy-Lally that project type corner. Because you're hoping, he did say he's hoping to get a Woozy back this week. So you get a Woozy and Snead on the outside, Roger in the slot, and then your backup boundary corners can be Gabe Jeudy-Lally and Brownlee Jr. And then I feel good. Now I feel good. It's good starters and depth with potential. Because in my opinion, Trey Avery never really even showed potential. Yeah. It was sad. Very sad to see. We talked about offense and depth, and we're 23 minutes into the video now. Is there anything on defense we needed to go over? Besides, we did go over, obviously, Jalen Harrell being an absolute beast out there.
And we talked about Chance Campbell a little bit.
We did talk about Chance Campbell.
Again, I just said on cornerbacks, I would rather Trey Avery be gone, get Brownlee and people like that a chance more than anything. Safety, we didn't really have anyone playing safety. No starters, that is.
Elijah Molden looked decent, but Elijah Molden's also was sometimes going against number 3 type people, yeah. So he should look a little better. See, the Power Hour, he says, who impressed you more on defense, Jalen Harrell or Chance Campbell? Well, for me, it's Chance Campbell. Obviously, was way more impressive in week 1. Jalen Harrell was more impressive in week 2. But here's the thing: I feel like Jalen Harrell was better in the first game than Chance Campbell was in the second game. But if I was ranking all four performances, I would put Chance Campbell's first game as the best, then Jalen Harrell's second game, then Jalen Harrell's first game, and then the worst of those would be Chance Campbell's second game. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. What did you say?
Is there anything to add?
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think it's real. Jalen Harrell, I guess, has been a little more impressive. Like you said, they both had one game that was more impressive than the other, but I think Chance Campbell's quieter game is a little quieter than Jalen Harrell.
Yeah, you go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to look up the 49ers game because I really feel like Jalen Harrell did have a sack in that first game. So I'm looking that up real quick. Titans defense. Campbell had a sack. Maybe I lied.
I thought you did. I didn't think.
Yeah, I did lie. He did not have a sack. I don't know why I thought he did. But anyways, I would still say overall you got to give Chance Campbell maybe a slight nudge, but I do like the fact that there is actually people playing well. Because I feel like a lot of times our stars, back in the day, our stars would come out there. They would be all right at best, just all right. And then as soon as our seconds and thirds come in, they are just awful. Like, let's be honest. Most of the time during the preseason, we get beat. Bad. And our defense doesn't stop anything. Our offense doesn't even really score. It's just such a boring watch. Now, I will be honest with you. I was a little bit bored yesterday.
I was a little bored too. I'm not gonna lie.
And it has to do with the starters not playing. Like when your starters don't play at all, again, like we said at the very beginning of the video, it's literally you're watching your backups and then people who's not even going to have a job in a week and a half. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I feel like when you get to that kind of football where you're having just backups and no names, if nothing else, give me some exciting football. But our offense didn't score much at all, so it was just kind of a boring offense and boring game, to be honest. And I'm just like, I was kind of bored a little bit. It kind of made me want the regular season already.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you heard Callahan say anything about what he's doing next game? About starters?
Starters will play.
Good.
Actually, I think it'll be a decent bit they'll play. What's the final? He said 3-ish series. Of course, that means obviously if they're all three and outs, then he might give them another one. But if the first two you just walk down the field, all the way down the field and score, then maybe not so much. But
sadly, I was just thinking, I guess we should tell the fans this, but you and I will not be watching that game, sadly, because someone scheduled a fantasy draft party at that time.
That is true. I'll be honest with you. We'll be having a fantasy draft right in the middle of the game. So I'll be watching highlights and reading analysis and things like that. But as far as like seeing it with my own eyes, I'm like, we'll maybe do a recap. We'll either do a recap or just a season preview for the entire season. I don't know what we're going to do, but
well, we need to also do one more time, going through the schedule, see what our record we're going to be. Right? Didn't we say we're going to do that one more time?
Yeah. That's exactly right. So got anything else you want to say before we just get on out of here?
No, I guess not. 2 preseason games down, 1 more to go, and then it's the real deal. Exciting, but I feel like it's so far away at the same time, though, because you basically got 2 weeks between next game and week 1. So you have 2 weeks, which those 2 weeks can feel like forever.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. But thank you, Jess, A Tidy Life, the Power Hour, all the people that joined in, commented, gave us your input and your opinion. I guess that's pretty much all we got. We're going to sign on out of here. So thanks for joining. So peace out and all that jazz.